Josh, what are you doing?
I'm just heading out to the store. Do you need anything?
No thanks, but why are you on a boat?
Well, if I was in any other place in the world, I'd be driving in a car, like most of our listeners. But today I'm in a unique city, the only one in the world that looks like it's floating.
A floating city? Sounds like a place from a storybook.
Well, it is really a special place. Want to hear more about it?
Of course. Hey, Smartypants! Welcome back to the show where we answer big questions in little yummy bites, like chocolate chip cookies packed with brain vitamins. I'm Emma, and today we have a question from our friend Leora about a city with no roads. Hey, Leora!
Hi, Emma. I want to know about Venice. Why there's only water there and no streets? That's my question.
Hey, Leora. Wow, that is a great question. To answer it, let's tell the story of how Venice came to be, well, Venice.
Okay, let's start with the basics. Where is Venice?
Venice is in Italy, on the northeast side near the Adriatic Sea. If you look at a map, you'll see that Italy is shaped like a boot, and Venice is sort of up near the top, where the boot would have fancy laces tied in a double knot.
Okay, and how many people live there?
Today, about 50,000 people live in the historic part of Venice, which is the part with the canals and bridges and boats. The greater Venice area has around 250,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and add to those people the millions of tourists who visit Venice every year. It's one of the most visited cities in the world. So sometimes there's more tourists than actual Venetians walking or floating around.
Let's jump back in time. How old is Venice?
Venice was first populated by people over 1,500 years ago. But it's a little hard to know exactly who the first people were to build the city. What we do know is that they were looking for a safe place to live, away from invaders on the mainland.
So they decided to live on water?
Yep. They escaped to a bunch of marshy little islands in a lagoon, which is basically a giant puddle next to the sea, which is where they were safe from the invaders. But they also needed to stop their homes from sinking into the mud, so they stuck some wooden poles deep into the water, and guess what?
What?
Those wooden poles are still holding up buildings in Venice today.
Wait. Wood that's been underwater for over 1,000 years? I know that if I wet some wood, it usually gets black and rots.
Usually, that's true. But in Venice, the water actually helps preserve the wood because there's no oxygen down there to make it rot. It's science at its best. And I have another trivia question for you. How many islands do you think Venice is made up of?
Oh, wow. I'm not sure. Maybe 10? 20? Listeners, what do you think?
Believe it or not, Venice is actually 118 little islands. If you look at the map, the city looks like a bunch of puzzle pieces.
So how do people get around these islands?
In Venice, instead of cars, people use boats to get around. There are no roads with traffic lights or honking horns, just canals, bridges, and the sound of water splashing as boats go by.
So every day is like a boat parade?
Pretty much. And the two main kinds of boats people use are vaporettos and gondolas. Vaporettos are like water buses. They're big, they make stops, and they're used by locals and tourists to get around the city.
With boat stops instead of bus stops?
Exactly. And then there are gondolas, the fancy, skinny boats you've probably seen in pictures. And they're rowed by gondoliers.
The guys in striped shirts and funny hats?
Yep. And steering a gondola is not easy. It takes years of training to become a gondolier. You have to learn how to row while standing, all while singing romantic songs.
Wow, so they're like boat captains, tour guides, and performers all together.
Yep. But here's something you can do in Venice, even though you might be on a boat surrounded by water. Don't jump into the canals.
No cannonballs?
Nope. It's actually illegal to swim in the canals. It's not safe, and you can get a pretty big fine. The water isn't always clean, and boats are zipping around, so it's a no-go zone for belly flops. Best to stay on the walkways and enjoy getting a bit lost, which is actually part of the fun. You'll turn a corner and bam, there's a beautiful old building or a surprise pizza shop.
Or a gondolier singing O Sole Mio while walking by a cat sitting on a windowsill.
That is indeed the perfect Venice picture.
Okay, Josh, so other than gondolas and islands, what else makes Venice unique?
Venice is home to one of the most famous festivals in the world, Carnevale de Venezia. It's all about dressing up, dancing, and showing off the most amazing masks you've ever seen.
Like superhero masks?
Not exactly. These are fancy old-fashioned masks with feathers, glitter, long noses, or gold decorations. Some are mysterious. Some are spooky. People parade through the streets wearing costumes that look like they popped out of a fairy tale from the 1700s.
That sounds like a great home assignment for our listeners. If you have old masks lying around, you could redecorate them with feathers, glitter, colored paper, and anything else you can think of. And if you don't have any masks, just grab a piece of cardboard, cut out a mask shape and areas for your eyes, and get decorating. Ask your parents to find inspiration from Venice festivals online and throw your own 1700s mask party.
Great idea. And don't forget to send us an invitation.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, but I heard that there is a big problem in Venice. Is this city really sinking?
Yeah, that's not the so fun part. Venice is slowly sinking, and the sea level around it is rising because of something called climate change. Over the past 100 years, Venice has dropped by about 9 inches, and flooding has become a bigger and bigger problem.
So what are they doing about it?
Well, the people of Venice got super clever and built a giant system made of 78 huge barriers that can rise up from the seafloor like a giant robot wall to block extra high tides from flooding the city. The barriers were tested during big floods, and they helped stop the water from spilling into the city.
That's really smart. So it's not just a city of history, bridges, and masks. It's also using science and technology to protect itself.
Yep. Venice is a great example of how we need to protect nature and our cities. There's so much history and culture here. I would hate to come back one day and talk about Venice's main population being fish and corals.
All right, Smarty Pants, time to wrap up our second episode. We hope you had fun exploring Venice with us today. Remember, every big idea starts with a big question, like Lior's awesome question about the city with no roads. So if you have a question that's been bouncing around your head, we want to hear it.
Ask a grown-up to help you send it in to us, and your question might be featured on a future episode of Hey Smarty Pants. Until next time, keep wondering, keep asking, and always stay curious.
Ciao, Smarty Pants. That means bye in Italian. The Hey Smarty Pants podcast is produced by Leora Cohen and her dad. Our theme music was created by Andre Rossi, and we use different AI voices like mine to deliver our content. We invite you to send us questions you want the answer to, and we'll be sure to give you a shout out when we do. See you next time.